I love Northeast Ohio. I've lived here really my entire life, except a 10-year period when I was living in Canada and starting churches up there. But I love Northeast Ohio because it was where I was born and raised. And my father, who was a local labor union leader, had a great passion for Cleveland. He was a hard scrabble coal miner from West Virginia, migrated up here to Cleveland, Ohio. He developed a real love in my heart for Cleveland. When I was young, he would take me to the West Side Market. We'd pick up our goods for the week, and he'd take me over to the Little Italy area, and we'd go in some backroom meetings with some of his union leaders, and it was a lot of fun. There was a great dynamic and a great kind of mystery about the city, and I was intrigued by it, even though it was really just a dirty old Midwestern city at the time, And so we watched over the 50 years as it slid down, and it was the butt of a lot of jokes and everything. But deep in my heart, I always had a real passion for the city because my father had a passion for the city. It was my home. So in 1986, I felt God was leading me to actually leave the area. It was very difficult. And I went to Canada for 10 years and planted churches up there. And after those 10 years, I felt it was time to go home. So I came back to Cleveland. And coming back to Cleveland, it was really in my heart to create a place where people could be connected with one another and really connect with God. In fact, the first year we gathered together, we really did nothing but just gather and worship God. I shared some things from the Bible, and then we ministered to one another and ate food and went home. That was about it. And so out of that grew this idea of, Bethel Church is a home. It's a place for people that are looking for a home. In fact, it says in the Bible that God places the solitary into families, or the lonely into families. And so I thought that's what Bethel needs to be. And so sure enough, we began to do that. We realized that, some people come into the entrance of your home, what may be called the foyer, or what we call it in Canada, the foyer. And you come in there, and it's a place where you engage to see who this person is, why are they here. You might take their coat off, hang it in the closet, and then you invite them into a deeper place, your family room, your living room, whatever it might be. And if there's real good connection, they may stay long enough that you go, hey, we're ordering some pizza. Do you want to stay and eat dinner with us? And it really established a template for me of understanding that we want to invite people into our home, Bethel Church. Invite them in, get to know them, hopefully with the idea that they will come in a little deeper. We might build relationships with them. They might find a deeper relationship with God. Actually, I love it when people are transformed personally in their relationship with God and their relationship with one another. In fact, I remember one guy who had moved away to Montana and came back to Bethel to visit one Sunday. And while he was there, I watched him during the worship time that we have at the beginning of the service, and he was just weeping. And a lot of people see weeping as a negative thing, that it's sorrowful. But he was weeping for a different reason, because he was home. He came home, he felt just the goodness that you feel. Anytime you've gone away from home, the university or whatever, and you come back, you feel that connection. It's good to be home. I want Bethel to have that connection. Some of the stories you're going to hear about people that came home. They came home to the Lord Jesus Christ. They came home to Bethel. They came home to Northeast Ohio. And that sense and feel that this is where I'm supposed to be. That's what we're looking for every person, their destiny, their purpose in life, where God has them. That's why we have Bethel Cleveland. Well, as in any kind of a home, it grows. Hopefully, there's children, there's others that come over, and they stay at your home, and the time comes when you need to expand your house, and make it larger. We're at that place right now after 20 years at Bethel Cleveland. We have close to 1,000 people that gather together in our various campuses in Brunswick, Middleburg Heights, and Akron. And we're at that point now where we need to make some of those expansions that every young couple goes through when they're having a child, or their first, second, or third child, or whatever. They realize, I need a bigger vehicle, I need a bigger car, I need to make some shifts and changes. So our home is growing, and it's an exciting time. Because of that, though, we're launching this campaign called Home. I know that's going to create a lot of questions in people, but it's about building a place in God, what I would think of as like a soul place, a place where you come and you're communing with people you love, you're worshiping with people that you love, and you're building relationship together, hopefully to reach our neighborhoods, our city, and even touch Northeast Ohio as a whole. But it all begins in a local church. We desire a local church, a family that can be transformed to bring transformation to an entire region. So we invite you to that right now as we're entering this home campaign. This is a good time for you to come in, step into the foyer, get to know us a little bit better. Maybe sit down with us in the living room, be invited in the kitchen, and let's build a life together. Let's watch our children, our grandchildren grow up to know Jesus Christ and have true Christian, dynamic, authentic Christian fellowship with one another. And it can be a very exciting time together. So thank you for joining me, and I hope I see you some Sunday morning and ultimately in a small group somewhere, and together we can grow and see what God has for us.